Hello, this is Marie Manucherry. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk about how to discover your destiny, your life purpose. This question is the second most popular question I'm asked in a session or a class or on the radio show. If you've never listened to me on radio, please go to energyintuitive.com. I broadcast live from Seattle. Terrestrial, which means that it's actually heard throughout the Seattle area, but it's also online, and we podcast all of them. And all the podcasts, hundreds of them, are available through our webpage, energyintuitive.com. My dog is actually hanging out, so he might be jumping up or disrupting me a little bit during this recording, and that's okay. I'm okay with that if you guys are. The most popular question I get has to do with spirit guides. So that's probably the most popular question. How many spirit guides do I have? What are they doing? What do they look like? Things of that nature. And then the second most popular question I get has to do with life purpose. What am I supposed to be doing with my life? Please give me direction or just tell me what it is. The third most popular question I get is, where's my partner? When are they coming? What does he look like? Where's his phone number? Which I don't get phone numbers, so that is something that doesn't happen in a session. Typically, I think once it did, somebody that I knew. Today, though, we're going to talk about how do you discover your passion? And let's just talk a little bit about the fact that if you're not going, in a positive, good way about your career, that is not it. That is not your passion. Passion at work feels inspiring. It's fulfilling. It turns you on. It gets you excited. When I first discovered chakras, which was completely unexpected, I didn't know what a chakra was. Of course, I'd heard the term, but I actually saw them in patients' bodies while I was working in the hospital. That was the first encounter that I had with a chakra. And right away I went out and got a book and started reading about them and fell madly in love with them. And today, even today, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I think about are chakras, energy, consciousness, awareness. And that's what I do for a living. I get to play in the field of the human energy system for humans and really galactically. I talk to people who live on the other side and spirit guides and all kinds of wonderful and fun, amazing aspects of the collective, because energy doesn't have a time or a space. It's everywhere. It's expansive. There's no limit to us. So when you can see energy and you practice the craft, like I have for the last 20 years every single day, you begin to be able to read energy no matter where it is, no matter what it belongs to, no matter what the circumstances are. It's just a language. You're just deciphering it, translating it, moving the molecules, and having fun with it. That's what it's like for anyone when they have found their passion for their career. Now, it might be passionate for some people to not have a career, and they don't need a career. They don't have to work. That could be someone's passion. If that's your passion, it's extremely fulfilling. You get a lot of reward from it. You are somehow helping in some extraordinary, interesting way. And there goes Charles moaning. He hasn't had a walk yet this morning. We just got back from the radio show. But before I take him for a walk, I just wanted to make sure that we made this lovely video so that you can start practicing techniques so that you can discover your passion. Typically, it's a complete surprise. So most people do not have their radar open for their passion. I will say younger people in their 20s, are a little bit more aware and curious about themselves and their likes and their dislikes. I think that they just got a lot more love and nurturing than the generations that are ahead of them. So self-love and self-appreciation are important cornerstones whenever you want to manifest or create something that's in your highest good. That's very important. And having a profession that lights your soul on fire, that makes you excited and happy and fulfilled, that's what it's going to feel like. It's going to be wonderful. And it only gets better. Just like when you pick an excellent partner, the relationship gets better. When you pick the perfect home to live in, the home just gets better. Energy, when it's in alignment, expands constantly and creates incredible opportunities for positive change. So, first of all, you have to assume that your logical mind is probably not going to figure this out. So don't try to make a list and run down it and go through, well, this would be great because then I could make this amount of money, or this would not be great because nobody makes money doing this. First of all, I promise you, if making wealth through your profession is a desire of yours, if you choose something that's highly impassioned for you, you will be financially successful. Those things go together. If you're in joy, you're going to be vibrating joyful energy. You're going to even be vibrating it towards resources, and you're going to attract more wealth into your life. So this will only be a good and beautiful and wonderful thing. So first and foremost, take the money logical choices off your list. I want you to choose something from pure passion, from pure joy, from pure happiness, not from, well, people only can have success if they do A, B, C, or D. I'm rubbing Charles' head, so I'll calm down a little bit. Hey, dude, chill, relax. That's really not true. You can make money doing the weirdest, oddest, most interesting things. If it makes you happy, you can be very successful at it. So just remember that. It's really about joy. So a lot of people don't know even what that might even look like when it comes to work. We've been conditioned as a culture, and maybe even globally, that work is something you go to, you have to do it, it pays the bills, it helps you to save for retirement. I think we kind of blew up that perception in 2008 when people who thought they had their golden parachute through their companies and the stock market didn't do well, and they were near or at retirement age, they realized, wow, did I just waste 25 to 30 years of my life doing something I don't like because I thought I could retire and then finally travel and have fun? The answer is yes. If you choose something that brings you joy, you will be rewarded financially, health, happiness, joy, because your vibration is in a high frequency. So what does that mean exactly? If you think about subatomic particles, which everything in the universe is made out of subatomic particles, including money, your job, your liver, this video that we're recording is made out of subatomic particles. Charles is subatomic particles too. Everything's subatomic particles. There's frequencies, meaning the movement of the vibration of the particles actually has momentum. And if you were to look at each wave of momentum and measure it, that would be its frequency. So when there are things in your life that you love to do, that you love to experience, that you do on a regular basis even, or maybe not that often, they have a vibration. That vibration, we'll just say, is high. Because we think of high as good. We think of lower frequencies as not so great. So we're going to use that metaphor that all the stuff you want in your life, all the things, even if you don't know what they are, you haven't met them yet, or they're not in your life, they exist. Anything you can imagine has already been created into something that human beings can experience, dance with, play with, have fun with. It's already been manifested, it already exists in the physical realm. Or it exists, I should say, in energy, and we want to bring it into our physical experience. It could already exist in the physical realm as well, but maybe you haven't run into it yet. So imagine that. Everything that you want, including an incredible profession that lights your soul on fire and makes you super excited, it exists in a very high frequency. So it's vibrating its frequency at a really high, fast rate. Now, if you're down here, meaning my head's right here, the top of my head, I just pointed up to something that's several feet above me. Your energy can actually be in the same vicinity as this high frequency career path that you want. But you have to practice running your energy in that same frequency. You have to practice being happy. And in order to identify what the career is, you have to know what happiness feels like so that when you run into it, you go, oh, wow. I made a decision when I was 15 years old. I had my very first job. I was working while I was in high school so I could graduate on time because a counselor had kind of flagged me over and said, yeah, your credits aren't that great. You may not graduate on time unless you take some extra credits. And hey, you could get a job where you get credits for working. So I was working for a small manufacturing firm that was creating small parts for Boeing, the Boeing company, which is here in Seattle. And I had to look up in microfiche parts, like serial numbers to parts, and then write them on some request form and then send it to the factory so that they could grab the part and I guess deliver it to Boeing. I was bored out of my mind. Hated it. Hated that job. But I wanted to graduate. Towards the end of the year or whatever it was that I worked there, I actually said something unkind to my boss. And she fired me. And she should have fired me, of course. It wasn't polite. It was true, but it wasn't polite. She happened to be kind of mean to a coworker of mine, another young person in high school. And for some reason, she just had it out for my colleague. And I told her off one day about it. I thought it was very rude. And she fired me, as she should have. I was actually relieved, so happy I got fired. And I made a commitment to myself at that time. I would never, ever again be employed in a job that didn't make me happy. My next job was to be a car hop. I wore roller skates at A&W and delivered food to people's cars, like root beer floats and hamburgers and french fries. Loved that job. It was fun. I was active. Of course, the food was delicious. I loved it. It was super fun. So that's what led me into nursing. Something about nursing brought me enormous joy, even though logically my brain said, why would you ever become a nurse? You totally believe in and have been raised in only holistic medicine, which is completely true. My mind was not educated from a small child to practice or have an interest or even trust modern medicine. Yet, when I studied science, I loved it. I loved every moment of nursing school. And that's what made me go to nursing school, is that I loved the science that I was studying. And I did very well in those courses like microbiology and chemistry. Loved it, had so much fun. Loved nursing school, like I said, and ended up doing a big stint of my nursing career in oncology. Loved every moment of it. And interesting enough, while I was working as an oncology nurse, that's where my psychic ability opened up. So when you follow your joy, follow the joy. Even though your logical mind says, what are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. That's crazy. If you follow the joy, you will continue to expand. Just like I expanded into the career that I have today, that I've had for 20 years now. I expanded because I followed my joy. And when you follow your joy, you keep your energy elevated. You're in high frequency. So you're matching the particle mass that's holding your incredible profession. So here are some ways to consider doing that. Do the things that make you happy even in the moment. Every Thursday after the radio show, my assistant Courtney and I go to a coffee shop. One of my favorite things to do, yes, we do wear a mask. We grab treats, food and drink. It's kind of like our field trip. It's something that makes me very happy. I like it. It's exciting. It's fun. So every day, do something that makes you happy, even if it doesn't make anyone else happy, even if it seems silly or ridiculous. Do things that bring you joy personally. Joy is a personal thing. It's not about other people. And when you do that, you can get curious about, ooh, what else brings me joy? Ooh, what kind of fun things could I do in the world that would bring me joy? What kind of fun things could I do in the world that I could monetize that bring me joy? What kind of fun things are my natural gifts and talents? I want you to be curious about that energy once your frequency is elevated. So don't try to get answers to those questions when your energy is low. Don't try to get solutions when you're frustrated or annoyed. You're not in the right vicinity to hear the universe. And you want to hear the universe. The universe is going to tell you, like it told me, hey, go to nursing school. I'm like, what? I would never go to nursing school. I'm so glad I listened to the energy that I felt when the words nursing school were shared with me. I'm so glad I didn't listen to my logical mind. I'm grateful for it. And you will be too. So practice holding your energy elevated and getting curious in that moment. All right. Have a beautiful day.